Hey, reflective people. This is Elsie Cardell with Believe and Receive, your weekly inspiration for your daily activation. Today's topic is looking back so the view looking forward is even clearer. I repeat, looking back so the view looking forward is even clearer. You can go back all the way in history, and it will be hard to find a year like 2020. I even ran across an internet meme that said, with everything we've been through in 2020, they better have us in the next version of the Bible. 2020 was the year of the pandemic. And it wasn't just a COVID health pandemic, but an economic, humanity, and social justice pandemic. This year, we got woke with a real 2020 purview of what the world is and will be at a decade-skipping accelerated pace. To date, 19 million total COVID cases have been confirmed in the U.S. and over 330,000 deaths, which is an astonishing 1% of the entire U.S. population. If just being alive in 2020 to see another year doesn't make you reflect on the grace of God's will and omnipotent protection, providing us with an abundance of oxygen to breathe, I don't know what will. But I'm telling you, if you don't know God, this would be a good time. In 2020, half of U.S. households have had at least one person lose a job or take a pay cut because of COVID. Households with income below $40,000 were hit the hardest, as almost 40% were laid off or furloughed within just the first 8 weeks of the pandemic. As I take this all in and process the hits we all took, my biggest reflection is centered around humanity. What COVID highlighted was the level of disparity and humanitarian efforts in our country for our citizens. COVID required a humanitarian response because COVID was non-discriminating and became an attack on every breathing person. Nobody was immune from COVID and anybody could get it. This new awakening brought us all to a halt. We had to be still enough for the world to see the inhumanity and literal breaking point and grotesque murder of a black man for 8 minutes and 46 seconds, leading to a much warranted social unrest. I also saw the biggest amount of humanity demonstrated from people who were least in position to give it in abundance the way that they did. From the protest lines, to the food lines, to the voting lines, where courageous people ushered in a change that better reflected the future we want to live and literally breathe in. So the Elsieism for this week is, you can't pour hot sauce on the chitlins before you clean them. This country has a lot of cleaning up to do, and personally, so do we. Before we rush into drenching 2021 with new hot sauce to drown out the taste and smell of 2020, we must take time to clean our own minds and hearts. Ask yourself, what happened in my life and world around me? Why did God allow it to happen? And how is it for my highest good? What do I want my future to look like going forward? I think 2020 showed us everything can change. We could not understand the finiteness of life. Before 2020, we acted out of theory, but COVID brought some reality. The current lives and futures many were planning for over the next 10 years changed forever in just 10 days in March. No one has escaped this year, from age 2 to 102. And now more than ever, we should have a heightened sense of giving and understanding. As we close out this unprecedented year, I think it's important that we look back and reflect on 2020 with these 3 steps. 1, relax. Despite everything, you made it. Now relax. Ease your mind and heart to serenely enter the mindset for reimagining a new beginning and a new year. And 2, relate. We're not social distancing, we're physically distancing. So continue to care, connect, and be social because we need it now more than ever. And 3rd, reflect. Take this time at the end of the year to reflect. You have to take time to process this year. Don't just keep running on the treadmill. As we look back and reflect on the good and the bad, we're able to learn from the experience and see how we're better for it and better positioned to move forward with clarity, confidence, and an expectancy of a future designed for our highest good without regrets. Remember, get busy living your purpose because your power is in the now, and now is always today. This is Elsie Cardell with Believe and Receive, your weekly inspiration for your daily activation. For more of my inspiration, including this segment, go to my YouTube channel, Elsie Cardell Empowerment. You're listening to the FM Omni channel, 95.1 FM Chicago, your heartbeat for soul.